Welcome to Drama U. Song of the Moon versus Shadow Love. Which one is better? Netizen debates are heating up, and today we'll explore why these two C-dramas starring Cheng Lei have fans arguing so passionately. The C-drama community has been really buzzing lately, with Song of the Moon and Shadow Love being compared extensively in terms of plot and lead actors. Online discussions have been incredibly intense. Both dramas feature Cheng Lei as the male lead, one paired with Zhou Ye, the other with Zhou Ye. Both have female general settings appearing similar, yet each has dedicated supporters. Let's first see what supporters of Shadow Love have to say. One netizen honestly admitted, "I watched Song of the Moon until near the end but dropped it. While I didn't expect much from Shadow Love, yet binge-watched it completely." This turnaround is quite surprising, right? Initially skeptical, but ended up watching the whole thing. Another netizen also said, "Both are decent, but for me Shadow Love is slightly better." The reasons supporting Shadow Love are interesting. They find Song of the Moon's plot so cliché it's cringeworthy. While acknowledging the sweet parts are truly addictive to watch, they ultimately dropped it at episode 24, jumping straight to the final episode. In contrast, although Shadow Love wasn't very appealing at first, their evaluation is very good to watch, somewhat juvenile, somewhat funny yet very emotional. Absolutely love it. This complex emotional layering seems to capture audiences' hearts better. Particularly noteworthy is the female lead Lu Xin's character. One netizen said, "I feel Lu Xin's character personality is basically a modern person who traveled back in time, and I like this character too. The verbal sparring is quite entertaining." This modern touch actually became a plus point. However, there are also rational comparisons. Netizen analyzed. Song of the Moon and Shadow Love both have relatively gentle female generals. Both act very seriously, but they don't mesh well. Personally, I think Shadow Love doesn't get exciting until episode 30. But if you want to see Cheng Lei's good physique, I recommend watching from beginning to end. This comment is very honest, acknowledging both dramas' similarities while pointing out Shadow Love's pacing issues. But that final suggestion about Cheng Lei's physique really brings a smile. But Song of the Moon supporters aren't pushovers either. One Song of the Moon fan fired back directly. "Hilarious. I've noticed Shadow Love fans really love to bash Song of the Moon. After Shadow Love aired, the ratings weren't as good as Song of the Moon's. The fan base isn't as large as Song of the Moon's, and the male and female lead solo fans fight and create drama daily. Are Shadow Love fans really that resentful? They constantly post bashing content about Song of the Moon on various social platforms, but what can they do? No matter how much Shadow Love fans yell and bash, they still can't beat Song of the Moon." This netizen's firepower is really strong, not only pointing out that Shadow Love falls short of Song of the Moon in ratings and fan numbers, but also criticizing Shadow Love fans' behavior. More directly, both are Cheng Lei's dramas, so I don't want to say harsh things, but I advise Shadow Love fans, if you want more audiences to watch Shadow Love, you should properly recommend the drama, promote the drama, the characters, and the actors. Constantly posting content that bashes Song of the Moon won't make people like Shadow Love more. It will only make people think you're sore losers. This statement actually makes a lot of sense. In fan culture, positively promoting what you love is indeed more effective at attracting new audiences than putting down competitors. Of course, there are also firm Song of the Moon supporters who directly stated, "Song of the Moon is better. Dropped Shadow Love." Concise and powerful, no further explanation needed. But some netizens have different opinions about actors. "I can't stand Zhou Ye." This kind of direct actor preference is also an important factor influencing viewing choices. However, rational netizens also came out to ease tensions. It's precisely because both are Cheng Lei's dramas that they keep being discussed together. It's not intentionally meant to bash. And too many people said they dropped Shadow Love, dropped it so much that everyone became more curious, and in their curiosity, they discovered how addictive it became. This netizen pointed out an interesting phenomenon. Sometimes negative discussions actually spark curiosity, leading more people to try watching. This psychology is interesting. It's like when everyone says a drama is bad, you want to see just how bad it really is. Some netizens also offered thoughts from a casting perspective. "I've thought that if Song of the Moon's leads switched to act in Shadow Love, that would be okay too. In terms of script, I prefer Shadow Love." This kind of hypothetical discussion is also interesting, showing that audiences are actually considering multiple factors, including script, actors, and production comprehensively. Additionally, netizens shared their emotional journey during binge watching. I also don't know why I couldn't continue watching Song of the Moon after reaching the final few episodes, maybe because knowing someone is scheming made me not want to continue. However, someone replied, "What a pity, the last few episodes are very sweet." This situation of dropping a drama midway and being persuaded to return is something many drama fans have experienced. Sometimes a plot twist or character development can indeed affect viewing motivation. From these netizen discussions, we can observe several interesting phenomena. First, the same male lead's performance in different dramas will indeed be compared. Cheng Lei's character settings in both dramas are male leads, but they obviously give audiences different feelings. Second, the choice and performance of female leads greatly impacts the overall drama perception. The different styles of actresses Zhou Ye and Zhou Ye clearly divided the audience base. Third, controlling plot pacing is very important. Song of the Moon was criticized for cliché plots, while Shadow Love was considered slow-paced early on but exciting later. This sense of pacing is indeed a key factor affecting audiences' willingness to continue watching. Fourth, the influence of fan culture cannot be underestimated. Both positive promotion and negative bashing affect casual viewers' choices, but rational discussions are obviously more persuasive. Finally, the diversity of personal preferences. Some people like sweet romance lines, some prefer complex plot layers, some care about actors' acting skills and appearance. All of these are very normal. Actually, behind this netizen debate reflects audiences' expectations for quality content and different aesthetic orientations. Song of the Moon and Shadow Love each have their characteristics, and supporters' heated discussions also show that both dramas have their highlights and shortcomings. From an objective perspective, both dramas indeed have similar settings. Both are period dramas, both have female generals, both follow a enemies-to-lovers plot progression, both have Cheng Lei as the common male lead. But precisely because of these similarities, audiences can more easily compare them and form preferences. For audiences wanting to choose which drama to watch, rather than getting caught up in netizen debates, it's better to judge based on your own preferences. If you like relatively sweet, straightforward love stories, Song of the Moon might suit you better. If you prefer richer layers with some juvenile humor and emotion, Shadow Love might attract you more. Regarding actors, Zhou Ye and Zhou Ye are both talented actresses, each with their own characteristics. Cheng Lei's performance in both dramas also has its merits. The final choice of which drama to watch still depends on personal actor preferences and plot tastes. Although netizen debates are intense, they also demonstrate from the side that both dramas have a certain level of discussion and attention. In this current era of content explosion, dramas that can generate discussion have already succeeded halfway. Finally, borrowing from the reference material's conclusion, regardless, both dramas are good dramas above standard. Everyone's opinions are different, and this is precisely the fun of drama discussions. Rather than insisting on determining superiority, it's better to enjoy this diversified viewing choice. What's your opinion? Are you Team Song of the Moon or Team Shadow Love, or do you have other different insights? Feel free to share your drama watching experiences with us in the comments.